This video contains strong theatrical, horrific themes. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
This isn't simply a matter of insanity. I refuse to believe that 8 people died this way just because they went crazy. 8 victims. 8 poor souls found covered in lacerations, all written off as suicide. Time of death, 9:44 p.m. Cause of death, automutilation with a pair of scissors. 8 autopsies, slight differences between them, but all sharing these key factors. These findings were a blight on the psyche of head detective Keiji Hasami. He reviewed their details over and over in his head, now going on 24 hours without sleep. Ichi Sakura, covered in lacerations by a pair of gardening shears. Time of death, 9:44 p.m. Automutilation. Female, 29 years old. Ame Kurenai. Same weapon, same time, same method. Automutilation. Also female, 29 years old. Keigo Ryorin. Also 9:44 p.m. Also automutilation, but male, 19 years old. The list continued with the other 5 victims, various ages and genders, but all dead at 9:44 p.m. with their choice of a pair of scissors. There was one final detail, however, that our team set aside at first as a coincidence. The autopsies confirmed extreme cases of insomnia. All victims had been awake for at least 72 hours. At that stage of sleep-deprived delirium, none of the victims would have known what was a dream and what was real. 38 years of life, 4 years as the head police detective in Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan, and 7 years as an officer before that, and Keiji had never seen something as disturbing as this. Another night without sleep, haunted by the details of this case, and the photos of the mutilated bodies, sliced and eviscerated, on morbid display in the evidence room. Keiji was considering giving up. He could officially close the case by calling it a collection of suicides, but the similarities were too obvious to let this go. He had now been awake 48 hours, then 53, then 62, until he lay in his bed at 7:43 p.m., wanting nothing more than to fall asleep. He couldn't meditate, couldn't focus, couldn't scream. His muscles started spasming uncontrollably, and he put his head in his hands and cried out of frustration, terrified that he might be next. The clock on his nightstand read 8:43 p.m., but how? It was just 7:43. He only blinked. How had an hour already gone by? He looked at the clock again, and it read 10:45 p.m. Had he avoided death? 9:44 p.m. had come and gone. That was the final straw. Tomorrow he would close the case and write it off as a series of suicides. His heart and his head couldn't take the stress anymore. All he wanted to do was sleep. He got his wish, but at the cost of never waking up again. What time is it? What time is it? It's time. It's time. I think I overdid it. Why? How? Somebody save me.
He screamed inside his head, but no one could hear him. The clock that had read 10:45 wasn't real. It was 9:44 p.m., and he was in the bathroom with a pair of hair-cutting shears.
time is it? What time is it? How did this happen? What was I doing? Did I become a photograph? Something worse? This is a nightmare, right? Where am I? Who am I? What am I? This isn't reality. This can't be reality.
Dead on his bathroom floor, thoroughly sliced and eviscerated by his own trembling hands, lay KG. The case was closed, conveniently called a series of suicides, but the reality was this case was too dangerous to leave open. All we could do was pray that no more victims were claimed, and that the details faded away into oblivion. KG's poor daughter, the one who found him, was victim number 10. And my entire investigation team is dead. The news outlets have collectively already lost 3 journalists, and reporting the mysterious case of the bloody scissors is forbidden. All evidence has been shredded, and it seems that even thinking about what happened here in Yokohama is enough to ensure that you meet the same terrible end. I left my wife this note, but had I known any better, I would have left town. Had I still had my wits about me, I would have kissed her goodbye and never returned. But even post-mortem, hindsight is 20/20. She died 72 hours after finding my corpse. The note read, "If you are reading this, it is too late for me. The case has driven me to insanity, and I have taken my life like the other victims. Should I survive, I will destroy this note before you see it. Should I die, just know that I love you. Sincerely, Reiji Mukuro." I had removed all of my pairs of scissors from the house. I even removed all of the clocks just to be safe. My phone was off, and I truly thought I had nothing to worry about. But I didn't know that my wife had taken up a new sewing project. I wish I had known so I could have removed her supplies. I didn't know that time still counted, even without clocks to look at. And I wish I had known how easy it was for me to find my wife's new fabric scissors at 9:44 p.m. and exactly 72 hours without sleep.